Namaste. In the last few episodes, I talked about various personalities who fought for Dharma and Swaraj. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a woman who rose to the ranks and shook the foundation of East India Company. I'm going to talk about Kyuili. Velu, the queen of Shiv Ganga, was the first ruler in the Indian history to wage a war against the British colonizer in 1780. About 77 years before the revolution of 1857, what is perhaps even lesser known in that the strategy that helped her win was devised and played out by Kyuili, her commander-in-chief. Kyuili played an important role in shaping the history of India. Kyuili, fondly addressed by some as Veer Thalapati or Veeramangai, was a valiant warrior who belonged to the Sambhavar community or Arunthatiar. Kyuili was born to Periyamuthan and Rapu, who worked in the fields. Her mother Rapu, who was well known for her bravery, died in an attempt to save the fields from being destroyed by a wild bull. Devastated, Periyamuthan then moved near Shivaganga with Kyuili, where he worked as a cobbler. He raised Kyuili by telling her of the many courageous acts of her mother, which inspired her. He was soon employed as a spy for Velu, who was then in hiding. He also fought alongside his daughter and the queen during the war. The nature of Periyamuthan's profession brought Kyuili and Velu close together. Kyuili and her father were unrestrictedly allowed access to Velu at all times, which is when Kyuili found a special place in heart of the exiled queen. Kyuili saved the queen's life on more than one occasion. When an intruder tried to murder Velu in his sleep, Kyuili saved her life and was badly injured in the process. On another instance, Kyuili discovered that her own Silambam teacher was a spy working against the queen. She immediately ended his life, sensing the danger he could cause Velu. This led to the queen making Kyuili her personal bodyguard. When the British tried to coerce Kyuili into revealing Velu plan, she refused, as a result of which they tormented her community by committing various atrocities. Seeing Kyuili's resistance, Velu made her the commander-in-chief of the women's army. After the successful formation of alliances with Marathu Pandyas, Hyder Ali, and Tipu Sultan, Velu entered into war with the British in order to reclaim her kingdom. Though her armies were well trained and had won a few battles, they faced a lot of difficulties due to the advanced weapons used by the British Army. Kyuili formulated her strategy. She gathered information about women being allowed into the Shivaganga fort, which was against the norm. As it was the 10th day of the Navratri, women across the kingdom were allowed in order to celebrate the festival of Vijayadashmi. Kyuili took use of this golden opportunity and planned a surprise attack on the British. She led her army, who were dressed as civilians and were unnoticed by the British army, who were swarming around the fort. Having hidden the weapons inside the flour and the fruit baskets, the women entered the fort and on the Queen's cue attacked the British. The British army, taken by surprise, were forced into a battle they were unprepared for. Kyuili, who had already made note of the location of the storage area where the weapons were kept, formulated another plan. She made use of the chaotic surroundings and made her soldiers pour ghee and oil all over her. She then went inside the storage area and set herself on fire. She destroyed all the weapons and left the British army completely vulnerable. Kyuili's sacrifice eventually helped Velu attack both the Nawab and the British troops and drive them away from her rightful kingdom, just as she had vowed all those years back. History writings fail to mention these women for their extraordinary contribution to our freedom from a 2 century long colonial rule. The legacy of Kyuili will live on through local legends and word of mouth. Thank you. Namaskar.